Let's start now, rolling, and we're going to start with Ashley.
Hello. Hi. Michelle, two of the things I loved the most about season 3 were the overarching themes of hope and family. Is there one main theme that you'd identify for season 4?
There are a few, actually. I think hope and family continue. Those, to me, feel like the bedrock of Star Trek, and optimism and those sorts of things. We're also dealing with a lot with uncertainty in season 4, which you might have gathered from the trailer itself and this new threat that's coming. So, but that isn't the thing that overshadows everything. There is still all of those other good things as well. I'm trying to be fast.
I know, right?
All right, we'll go with you, Bill Smith.
Hi, Sonequa, last season, Culber referred to Burnham as a responsibility hoarder. Is she prepared now to have all the responsibility as captain of the Discovery, or is this going to be a learning process for her?
I think the answer is a double yes to your question, because yes, Burnham was a responsibility hoarder in the beginning of the series, but a lot of that was because of self-fulfilling behavior that was actually quite self-oriented, even though Burnham didn't realize it. There was a lot of overcompensation happening there. There was a lot of putting a sort of image out there to gain approval or to gain absolution, or, and so much healing has happened since then. So that now the responsibility, it's so interesting because now there's space for Burnham to take the responsibility, but the way that she should actually, and not hoard it, but just carry it healthily as she should. But at the same time, the other yes to your question is that, but there is still lots to learn for sure. It's a new role and it's a big one. And everybody's got to learn when they first take that seat. And Burnham definitely does and will.
All right, next, let's go to Screen Rant.
Hi there. Sonequa, congratulations on becoming captain.
Thank you.
So every Star Trek captain has a distinct, even famous style of command. Like Kirk was very different from Picard and so on. Can you give us some hints on how Captain Burnham runs her ship now that she's in the big chair?
Mm-hmm. I wish I could. I wish I could. But actually, Michelle, you said something earlier that I thought was really perfect for this. That you will see as we go, because just like everything else, just like the journey to the chair, you also get to journey through the chair with Burnham. Oh. So you get to see that process as well, that continual learning process. Also, you see that playing out. So I wish I could tell you, but I can say that everything you already know about this woman, everything that you've already seen this woman do and learn, is implemented in that role, 1000%.
Awesome.
Great. Now let's go to Sam.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hi.
Hey, Michelle, going into season 3, you have this big blank canvas of you're now the tip of the spear. You're no longer dancing between continuity and all the expectation and baggage that comes with being a prequel. How is it continuing to paint on that canvas and develop this even farther future world as you go into season 4?
Yeah, I mean, the really cool things that we got to explore in season 3, who are the species that we meet? How do they feel different in this new future? The technology that we developed, what does the world, for lack of a better term, look like? All of those things we still look at in season 4. And, now we always have what's come before. We always have the canon that's established. And now season 3 is canon as well for us. So we're always looking for new ways to build on that. What are the species that we haven't explored yet? Where are the planets we haven't visited? What's the technology that's new? How can we continue to push in those ways that feel new to this future, and also very much in the vein of Star Trek and Discovery specifically?
And next, Bill Smith.
Thank you, Michelle. I want to dovetail on that a little bit. Each season, Discovery seems to become increasingly more epic in scope, even more so than the season before that. You know, we've saved humanity, we've saved the universe, we've saved Starfleet. Does it become increasingly more difficult to write as those stakes keep ratcheting up season after season?
Well, I think it feels like there are two questions in the question. There's the story version and there's the production version.
Sure.
To answer the second one first, this is Alex has spoken from the beginning of Discovery, but what we try to do, always try to make every season bigger and more epic than the last on every level. We try to make every episode feel like a movie. We do that, in the storytelling, in the visual effects, in the look and feel of the show. So it is always a challenge from that perspective to continue pushing forward and to continue exceeding audience expectations. In terms of the storytelling itself, we're always looking at it in terms of how can we. There's the epic of what is the thread of the season, but there's also how can we push our characters more? How can we get deeper with them? How can we expand and grow what we know about them? How can we deepen their relationships? So I'm not quite sure if that answers your question, but every season we're looking at all of those things, and certainly coming into season 4, that is as much a focus as it was coming into season 3. And I'm sure I wasn't in when they started season 2, but that's something that we look at the start of every season.
Thank you.
Yeah. And next, Ashley.
A question for Sonequa. You've touched on this a little bit. One of the things I appreciate about your performance as Michael is that you really, just with your body language, are able to exhibit the cool, calm logic of your Vulcan upbringing, but also the raw, fiery emotion that Michael has from her human upbringing. I wanted to ask, how do those upbringings affect Michael's role in the captain's chair?
Oh, so much. Thank you for saying that. Thank you. That was very encouraging. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, in ways that, my goodness, that I think Burnham realizes, and then in ways that maybe I don't even realize as Burnham. It's one of those things where it's such a big part of who I am as Burnham, just as anyone's upbringing is. That it filters into every single decision, every thought, every word, every deed, right? So this I do believe that there's a synergy there now, though, that I have found as Burnham that has come from, it was a sort of trial by fire, right? And a lot of falling forward and a lot of deep moral mistakes, but then also a lot of deep moral victories. And that led me as Burnham to a place where I can finally accept all that is me, my humanity, as well as my Vulcan nurture, and find where they flow depending on the moment. Because there was such a denial of my emotionality for so long, and that's not the way to go. You have to accept. If you have a sort of dichotomy like Burnham does, you have to accept both equally, and then they can flow together as needed. And I appreciate that. And I think that journey is going to continue because that's a balance that, you got to keep going for that. But there is a synergy there that we haven't seen before. And it definitely flows right into the captaincy.